Hey folk, welcome back. So for today's video, we're going to be taking a look at Scarah Screams, who is the Fang doll for Monster High for this year. I do know that everyone and their mother has been posting this video. Like, I am very well aware of that, and I am sorry if that's, like, frustrating for you guys to just keep seeing variations of the same video just from different creators, just kind of flooding your feeds. I do feel a little bit bad about contributing to that because I know that, like, some people don't really love that, but she's really gorgeous and I want to talk about her to you guys and with you guys. Like, I really want to make this video, so hopefully some of you guys will indulge me and watch another video about her. But yes, this is Scarah. I hope the glare isn't horrific. Hi Reese, I know, I'm so sorry. How dare I try to focus on anything other than you? That was really mean. I do apologize. That was obviously my bad. But this is her in the box. Again, I'm hoping that the glare isn't horrific. We are going to take her out of box. So, like, if it is really bad right now, you will still get a chance to see her. And then this is the back of the box with just some photographs of her on it, which, like, I don't know. I just, like, they're not bad. They're pretty. I just feel like adding photographs of the doll doesn't add anything to the box. I've said this before. It's like, I see her. She's right there. I don't need a photograph. Like, art. Art would be more fun, but also that's not going to stop me from buying the doll, clearly. So before we go ahead and get into her, I do want to go through my doll buying rubric with her because she's a landmark moment for this thing. Okay, so for emotion, she's going to get a 5 because I would have ranked her a 4, but then I read the blurb on the back of her box, which I will read to you guys as well, and I just, like, got weirdly emotional about it, and I did almost cry, so I kind of have to give her a 5. For need to customize, she gets a 5. I'm not doing diddly squat to her except maybe washing her hair, and even that, I'm like, I might not touch the bangs because I don't know if I can make them look good. Quality, she's getting a 5. For me personally, like, I feel like everyone has their own quality standards, but for me, Monster High has, like, the articulation that they've got going on is good for me. I know that like, she's gonna have a good hair fiber, right? Like, I'm just trusting that this shit isn't polypropylene. And she does have decent quality clothes. Like, they're certainly not papery, so 5. Number of pieces I like, she gets a 5. And for uniqueness, she also gets a 5 because this is the first Scarah Scream dolls. Scarah Scream dolls. This is the first Scarah Scream doll in my collection, which means that she gets a perfect 25 out of 25 points. And I think this is the first doll that has ever done that, like, since I started that rubric at the beginning of 2025, I want to say, or it might have even been 2024. I can't remember exactly, but I think she's genuinely the first time I've ever had a perfect 25 out of 25 points doll, which is crazy of me to say. And I'm going to say something even crazier, okay? Just to give you an idea of how much, like, I love her. It's January. I am already predicting that this doll is going to be in my top 10 dolls of the year. I know that's an insane thing to say. Like, we still have half of this month and then 11 other months to get through before it's the end of the year. That's so much time for releases. I'm being so serious. I don't know if she's going to be number 1. Like, I'm not going to go that far. I cannot foresee a future where she's not top 10. That's how crazy I feel about this doll. I know I keep looking at the blurb and I'm like, you have to remember to read that. Really quick though, I do just want to say, I know that there was a lot of drama with this doll. I do fully recognize that. I talked about a little bit of it in my video that I made about her, like, prior to getting her in the mail, just sort of covering the release. But I did find out after posting that video from talking with you guys in the comments and then, like, seeing other people posting on other platforms and everything, that there was even more drama about her. I'm not going to be discussing that in this video. Like, I really just want to be able to have a fun time with this one. And since I already did touch on it a little bit in the last video, I feel like that's okay. Plus, there's another video that I have coming up where we're going to talk about it a little bit more. So just, I am aware, okay, I am fully aware of, like, all of the issues with her release. I just really want to get to have a happy one. So, with that being said, let me finally read the back of her box because, like, when I first saw her, I was obviously into it. Like, I was excited about this doll, but the more I look at her, especially, like, seeing her in person and then, like, reading the little blurb, I'm obsessed now. So, let's see if I can do this without stuttering. It says, "The moon shines bright on this misty Imbolc night as I float through the woods like a will-o'-the-wisp, my shroud as sheer as the veil that separates the living from the dead. Such an occasion warrants a hauntingly beautiful dress, and so mine is soft as moss and swirls with Celtic knots. Imbolc has always been my favorite festival, a time to reflect on winter and welcome emerald spring with all the might of a banshee wail. And tonight, back in Ireland, I'll let my voice ring as loud as I want. See, I come from a family of storytellers, and one of our Imbolc traditions is to stay up until the wee hours and spin stories of ghosts and fae folk. For my turn, I am bursting at the screams to share all the fun and frights that were had this past Scaremester Monster High. I was so close to having a perfect read there. We were doing really solid there for a minute. But the reason that I love that so much and that I think it is so fun is one, the timing is really, really solid. Imbolc is coming up. I believe it's February 1st, if I'm remembering right. It's been a minute since I've like zhuzhed up on that. So it's like it's good timing. But I also just think when it comes to like Celtic holidays like that, I feel like Imbolc is not the one that I hear people talk about it the most. Like Samhain, I think is the one that I hear the most, which is now celebrated as Halloween in America. Yule, the winter solstice, which has been commandeered into Christmas for a hot minute at this point. Even Lunasa, I feel like I hear that name more often. I don't hear like the term and like the name Imbolc a lot. Like obviously I know it is a very old tradition. Okay, I'm not saying like it doesn't happen, but at least here in America, I feel like I don't hear about that holiday as much. And so I just thought it was really, really fun that she's like shouting out her heritage, but she's also shouting out her heritage in a way that I feel like, again, I am speaking specifically from an American perspective here. Like it's just not a holiday that you hear that much about. And so I just thought that that was really special and it just made me love her even more. So I'm like genuinely on the cusp of tears. I don't know why I'm so emotional about this, but I'm gonna go ahead and unbox her off camera right quick. We're gonna be careful. I I don't know. I might want to try to salvage just some of the background. I could be wrong. We'll see how unboxing her goes. Wish me luck. That's all I can say. Also, if you guys find yourself enjoying the video, if you could like, comment, subscribe, and hype, that is super duper helpful to me. But yeah, I'm going to go take care of her, and then I will be right back with you to look at her more up close and in depth. And I'm probably just going to end up gushing and crying off camera. So if that sounds fun, stick around. I'll be right back. For this week's Doll of the Week, we're going to be featuring the Girls Night Out Dana. Mine is a reproduction, but like the original also deserves a shout out. I just think she's gorgeous. I don't know what it was. I looked at my Bratz shelf, like I was like, okay, let's look around, let's pick a doll of the week. And I looked at the Bratz shelf and she caught my eye and she refused to let it go. She's just gorgeous. So shout out to her. Y'all, when I tell you I'm losing my mind over this doll, we're not exaggerating. Okay, she does come with the certificate of authenticity, thin little paper that, you know, it's just going in the stack with all the others that I just happen to have. Before we get into her, she does have the saddle stand quite clearly there. It does have like an angle to it. So there's, you know, the flat base and then it's like angled out and then goes up. It does have the additional side clips as well as the clip that goes between, or not even the clip, but the saddle, aptly named, that goes between her legs. So like, I mean, yeah, she's like about as sturdy as I feel like you can get on these. It does help, I think, with the illusion of making her look like she's floating, especially with the shoes that we're going to talk about in a little bit. Don't worry. But the fact that they have like the fog sort of molded on the bottom, it really, combined with the saddle stand, I think helps sell that illusion of her like floating out of the mist. I don't know. Like, I completely understand why people hate saddle stands. And I do not love that she's like so insecure. Like, I obviously would prefer for her to be secure, but like, I'm just trying to look for a bright side. And the bright side is that I do think it helps sell the illusion. But let's go ahead and get her out of there. Cause like, are we really here to talk about the stand? Not even slightly. Let's talk about her face. I really thought I was gonna make it more than like a minute into this before I started like getting emotional. She's so unbelievably pretty. Like, I just love her so much. If we take a look sort of under the bangs here, we can see her nice strong eyebrows and the makeup, y'all. Like, the sort of cut crease moment with the really super long bottom lashes, I think is so gorgeous. The green lips, like, I know that that is not new for Scarah. Like, she usually has green lips, I feel like, because she's had a couple of dolls. And I feel like she usually has green lips, right? I'm not crazy. I'm not crazy. But I don't know. I said this in the video where I just like talked about her generally before getting her. I just love that they went with Scarah, who's a fully green character, and like that they didn't sort of chicken out and give her pink lips for no reason. Like, I just love that. Green is not like the most common color that you see for dolls, and I'm obsessed with this for her. Plus, I kind of like the concept of because she has green skin, that like this is a nude color for her. Like for her, that green lipstick isn't, or like you could make the argument that it wouldn't be like this super weird thing. Like that could literally just be her lip shade, right? I don't know. I just think it's quite fun. But the most stunning part is, of course, her eyes themselves. So on previous Scarah dolls, you guys did let me know that this is the case, and also I looked at images to be like extra sure. The white is just white, like her entire eye is just whited out, and that's it. But in this one, we get a lot of extra detail. I'm really trying to get it to focus. Where like you almost have the hint of an iris, and then a little bit of shading at the edge there with like something that almost looks like a spider web. It's so eerie. Like it's just so oof. It's just it I'm sort of lacking the words. I think that's pretty clear by my incessant stammering. I just think it's so fun, and this feels so perfectly monstrous to me. We're going to talk about that a little more at the end, but I'm obsessed. She has like a fat bang, which I do love. The rest of her hair, I'm going to have to wash it, like, because this is, what are we doing, guys? There's no gel in it, which is nice. So honestly, maybe I could get away with just like combing it to sort of neaten it up a little bit, like maybe a little bit of water in the comb. Because it's just a little tangled from being in the box, which I know does happen, but it's just kind of aggravating. I don't know. Her I had called this a veil in my previous video, but it's like a death shroud, which is so much better. Again, it's like creepy, and I'm really vibing with that. But it is attached to her head with tea ties, first of all, that I am gonna leave in because I do not want this slipping. But it's attached with this headband with the Celtic knots that move up to like this screaming skull in the middle. Shut up. Shut up. She's so good. I promise we're gonna take a look at the veil, but I just want to get out of the way real quick. The earrings as well, which also have little screaming faces in there because she is a banshee. Screaming is kind of their whole shebang, and I just it's so gorgeous. I don't know, I just love them so much. But the veil, okay, or the shroud. Sorry, I really don't want to keep calling it a veil. That's so inaccurate. This is beyond gorgeous to me. Like the sheer volume, first of all, they didn't skimp on this bad boy, okay? This is a lot of fabric. But also just the fabrics that they chose. So it's like this sheer green mesh. And then they've got this gorgeous, like, yellowy green lace that trims all the way around, like, all the way from where it goes to her head. They didn't skimp out. None of that is untrimmed. And it's so pretty. I love the way it lays, like how you can see so many layers of it and how it gives so much volume all at once. I just think that's so pretty. And then the details on here are crazy. So it's printed in this metallic foil, and there's trees and little critters running through the trees. Like there's a raven there. I'm not sure exactly what type of animal this is supposed to be, but there's like a little animal hanging out on a branch there. And as it gets closer to the top, it's really hard to show you because since it's metallic, it's like obviously reflective, so it's a little bit more difficult. But it looks more like a spider web with dewdrops in it towards like the crown of her head, and then the trees really show up as it goes towards like the tips. It's so cool, and the two ties at the back, like this is a stunning piece. Like to the point where I am very happy that I like the rest of the doll. Obviously, like I don't intend to change her at all, hence the 5 ranking for need to customize earlier. But this is such a phenomenal piece that if I had liked this and the base doll and I'd hated the outfit, I still would have tried to buy this doll so that I could redress her. Because this piece alone is worth it to me. Like that is so ethereal and like weird. And I think this is so impeccably designed. Like the sheer amount of detail that was put in is genuinely so impressive. But I do have to stop talking about that and just kind of keep on moving down. So she does have a green ribbon around her neck. I've seen a lot of people talk about it being sort of like, at least in America, I don't know if this is something that's like worldwide, but I feel like in America, a very popular, like scary story that you hear about when you're a kid is the lady with the green ribbon around her neck and she can't untie it or her head will fall off. And so I have to assume that that was intentional because it is very specifically ribbon. It also does have Velcro, so you can fully take that off if you want, and you don't even have to like pop her head off. Like it's really easy to take off. But I have to assume that that's a reference to that story, and I do think that that's pretty fun, especially because on the back of Scarah's box, she literally talks about how she loves telling stories and how telling stories is like her family thing. Like her family all loves telling stories to each other, so it makes even more sense that a extremely widespread story would be referenced in the doll. Like the detail is genuinely nearly unmatched. I am baffled by the amount of detail that we got in this doll. For her dress, her sleeves are a like slightly more yellowy green mesh, a little bit of a flare there. I said before I do wish they were like slight bit longer. That's my only gripe with this doll. And honestly, it's not even a gripe. Like I don't care. I still think she looks gorgeous. I'm just like, oh, I like long sleeves, like long dramatic sleeves. It could be a little longer. That doesn't mean it's ugly now to me though. Like I just she's so crazy. And then her dress is this velvety material, nothing on the back, but the front embroidered baby. Oh my god. Listen, I know that like that shouldn't feel crazy for a collector doll, but given that it is so normal, especially for Mattel, to give us collector dolls, like even if we just look at Monster High, that look like absolute shit. Like the Hocus Pocus Collector pack, I understand that that has like a different licensing, but let's be honest, like that fabric looked atrocious. The Us pack really was sad to me because I think that the base dolls are incredible and they like worked really hard to get the hair and everything right for those dolls, which was extremely commendable. But the fashion was like it was not looking good. And even when you talk about like dolls that they've made that don't require money for licensing and all that jazz, because you can argue, oh, it's like a budget issue because of the licensing. I disagree, but whatever. But you can make that argument. Even looking at past like Fang Club dolls, like I'm not saying that they had horrific quality clothing, especially because I have not gotten any up until now. But like if I look at that operetta, I don't know, like it just doesn't look like the quality of embroidery. Are we kidding? Are we kidding? That's incredible. So like the whole point there was I shouldn't be excited about embroidery on a collector doll because I do feel like that should sort of just be a thing. Even oh my god, a perfect example is last year's Dia de los Muertos Skelita, who I loved. That was my favorite doll that released last year. But the embroidery, quote unquote, on her dress is all fake. It's printed to look like embroidery. This is real. I shouldn't be surprised, but I am. And I'm ecstatic. I'm ecstatic that she got this level of quality. And the way this design flows too is so perfect. Like the way that it's a little thinner up top and goes wider at the bottom to mimic the shape of the dress. Very, very excellent. And it's like there's so many different elements. It looks like there's like some eyes at the bottom here. There are skelettes mixed in. Looks like we have two hands like cupping a screaming mouth and another mouth up here. And then of course we've got Celtic knots mixed in throughout. Like it's such an intricate, gorgeous design. I'm obsessed. Could you tell? Was that clear? Yeah. Almost done. Then we have her tights, which are just a green mesh. I want to say it's like similar to the green mesh that her veil is made of. It's hard to tell because the veil has so much printing on it, but it's like a darker green mesh and more of a pure green than like this yellowy green that they use for her sleeves. And I love how many different colors of green are on her. Like, ooh, it's just so pretty. But the shoes, okay. So the green part is shaped like sort of like a flat and has the same design as her headband on the front there, which is very good already. But Jesus Christ. What? This smoke, like mist, fog sculpting is so genuinely unreal. And I do think that it looks like there might be some painted detail in there. Am I crazy? Like, I feel like in here it looks almost dry brushed. I could be completely wrong, like don't hold me to that, but it just the dimension, the sculpt is so gorgeous. The way I said this before too, sorry, I'm repeating myself a bit. But the way that so little of this fog is like actually touching the ground, again, just sells that illusion. Like she is floating. This girly pop is not walking. She's floating. It's so incredible. And it's really hard to get like a good angle here because they're semi-transparent too, so that's like not helping. But here and then up top, there are two screaming faces sculpted into the smoke. Are we fucking kidding? Like this whole doll is just full of like, oh my fucking god moments. That's how I feel about her. Like everything is just so correct, I think is perhaps the best way to put it. Every element feels like it has so much detail, like the detail in her eyes, the embroidery, the sculpt of the shoes, the insanity of the veil. But at the same time, everything is balanced. And I keep saying veil, the insanity of the shroud. I'm really sorry. But everything feels so balanced and done in like subtle ways where it needs to be subtle and not so subtle ways where it doesn't need to be subtle, to where it doesn't feel overwhelming to me. It just feels like this doll has like this treasure trove of little details for me to discover. And I adore her. But to get back to what I was talking about earlier when I was talking about her being like a little creepy, I feel like this doll sort of hits a similar spot as the Aliens Collector did for me, where she's still clearly a Monster High doll. Okay, we've got a lot of fashion going on, we've got a lot of cuteness going on. Like her dress is adorable, it's precious, it looks really, really good. Like there is definitely that brand continuity, but I feel like they've pushed it a little bit with this being a collector doll to make it just a little creepy. Like the detail of this being a death shroud is crazy. All of the screaming faces, like they're not the most cartoony faces. Like they are screaming faces. It's creepy. Her eyes are unsettling. And I love it. It's the same feeling that I had, like I said, with the Aliens Collector, where it's this perfect blend of Monster High as we know and love it. But because this is for an adult audience and it doesn't have to have retail value to like Walmart or something like that, because it's a Mattel exclusive, which I mean, obviously I understand that opens like its own can of worms of terribleness. Like, don't get me wrong. But I'm just saying this doll doesn't have to be of like a design that parents will approve of, that parents will be like, oh yeah, that's not too spooky for my kid. I just think this is absolutely excellent. I love G3 Monster High. Y'all well and truly know that. And I don't mind that they are a little more on the cutesy side because I think that that's also incredible. But really and truthfully, this is what I want from G1. Because if G1 is going to be this thing that continues going on and it is really pretty exclusively for adult collectors, like, yes, sometimes it is more widely available. Like the Wednesday collaboration dolls are like widely available across the US when they come out, and like they're fresh and the shelves are stocked. Um, but even so, those are still, I feel like, meant for adult collectors. And I feel like if G1 of Monster High is going to be the thing that is for adult collectors, and G3 is going to be the one that is like supposed to have at least some appeal to kids, this is what I want. I want them to push that creepiness. Because again, while I love the cuteness of G3, it's just like, I don't know, at a certain point, it's kind of like, why do we have both if they're trying to fill the same niche? So, not to keep dunking on the Fang Club operetta, that's just like the example that pops in my head because it's another Fang Club doll. That doll, like, I personally just thought was butt ugly. Some people liked her, and that's great. Like, if you're happy, that's fab. But that doll, I feel like, is a similar level of like kitschiness that G3 has. Not, you could argue whether it's like out and out cute. I think cute is sort of a hard, vague term, but it definitely wasn't scary. It was still Monster High is taking monsters and making them fashion, making them a little bit cuter, making them a little bit more palatable. Whereas this one is all of that, but has that creepy edge that pushes it over into like interesting collector territory for me. And I just feel like if G3 is existing, which I hope it continues for ages, I love G3, they're filling the niche of like kitschy and cutesy. If we want G1 to continue making dolls too, which I also want because I do like both, because that is possible, I want more shit like this and more shit like the Aliens Collector. I don't want stuff that is something that feels like it's still trying to be palatable to parents when it doesn't have to be, if that makes sense. I want it to push the envelope. Like we have G3 and that is taking up the playline space. I want to see G1 push the envelope now that they're like such an established brand and that they are selling mainly to adults. I want them to keep doing shit like this where it's still very cute, still very appealing. You absolutely could still buy a doll like this for a child who's like a little bit older who like isn't going to break it, right? And they can still enjoy it. Like I'm not saying she's too scary for kids or anything crazy like that. Like that's not what I believe at all, but I'm just saying they have an adult market and I wish that they would utilize it more and they would make just more weird shit like this and like Alien. And I really, really hope that that is the direction that they continue going with G1 of Monster High, because I do feel like we could be stepping into some really, really excellent stuff. Again, Alien like was pretty recent, and then we have this doll. The Fang Vote doll for this year is Abby, and she's looking very promising and like kind of giving me not exactly creepy vibes, but still like a definitively like, hey, we know we're marketing for an adult audience and we can be a little weirder with it vibes. So I really am hoping that Monster High is like getting that and going in that direction because I just feel like it's perfect. That was a lot. Sorry. I just like randomly launched into an essay. Didn't even know that was going to happen. Those words just kind of came out of my mouth. Anywho, my favorite thing about Scarah is absolutely the Death Shroud. That's, I feel like, a given. If I have to pick a second thing, though, it's her face up. I think that is crazy. And it's just the ability to do so much with eyes that are literally blank is extremely impressive to me. And if you force me to pick a least favorite thing, again, it's the sleeve length, but like you're holding me at knife point. Can I say that on the internet? Trying to make me say something like that. I just love her. I feel so overwhelmingly grateful and like glad that I was able to get her because again, I know like I don't want to like get super into it, but I know that release was really terrible for so many people and I feel really really awful about that. Even though it's not my fault obviously, but I feel bad that like some people missed out on something they were excited about and I have so much gratitude that I was able to get her and that I can experience this. So hopefully it was fun sharing that with you all. Sorry I like kept rambling and could not shut my mouth. But I'm finally ready to do that. Now it is your turn to weigh in with this doll. Were you able to get her first round? Did you get her on the restock? Like, are you looking forward to her shipping out later this year? I believe if you got her on the restock, your favorites and least favorite things. But I need to talk about her because this video didn't get the energy out. Like I still am just obsessed with her. So yeah. I need to be able to talk in the comments. So sound out with every opinion down below. But that is going to be it for me for today, y'all. I do hope you're able to enjoy. I hope you have a lovely rest of your day or your night or whatever it might be, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye, guys.